You're listening to a student of beauty, and this is Finding Beauty Every Day. My name is Gabby Pasqua. I'm your host, and this is a new series that I started last week. It is an audio exclusive, to be truth be told. I'm focusing more on just showing up and getting to know new friends and to put myself out online, and it is a bit of a challenge, but I'm down for it. So if you're tuning in for the first time, thanks for spending some time with me. I hope that this encourages you to find the beauty, seek the wellness that works for you, and hopefully, truth be told, find the clarity and the freedom in your own self-expression and in your journey, because I'm not really here just to talk about anything and all things that happened in my life, but I hope to share stories to encourage those who decide to spend time with me, because time is precious. I don't take it for granted. And with that said, let's just jump right in. So I'm sitting here underneath trees in Dallas, Texas. I was re-listening to an actual recording that I recorded yesterday after I'd written an article on my sobriety and what I'm actually processing right now, which is really accepting the fact that I'm not the happiest I've been in my life. I think that this is kind of a lull. I've gone through some grief. If anyone has been kind of following along, this being a more challenging season, I hope to share 3 things that has helped me find beauty in my everyday. 3 things that has grounded me in my own unique wellness journey. I think there's a lot of trends, there's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of people telling you what to do, but ultimately nothing will stick if you don't, try and really just get honest about what works for you and what is going to ultimately give you the clarity that you want. Because I'm a big believer that there is a veil over our eyes if we are trying to just mask what we're really feeling. I feel like we're not fully seeing things for what they are. I also truly also feel like, yeah, truth is the biggest thing that will guide me consistently back to a sense of well-being and a sense of being able to experience all the good things that life has to offer. Truth be told, I'll go first. There's been a lot of change. There's been a shift in my schedule, and I am back in America still without a permanent address. I'm in an adult way, kind of couch surfing, but not actually couch surfing. I'm staying in people's homes in extra rooms and just trying to navigate what this season really looks like, how long I'm going to be here in the States. For those of you who do not know, and I don't think I've actually opened up about this, but I unrooted myself in 2022, at the end of 2022, to start a documentary project that I thought was only going to last for like 8 months at max, but it's been almost 4 years. In that process, I have split time between Asia, Europe, and the United States. I've, left TV sets and started my own independent production company, and in turn, trialed and errored, shooting for different companies, leaning in and creating our own content, and also shooting long feature documentary series, which right now we have 5 films on our slate, which is a lot. And so the last few years have been a bit of a change, and that change has done something to me, mind, body, and spirit, and that has changed, and ultimately this experience has changed me forever. So I guess I wanted to come on here to share things that ground me, because if I could be honest, grounding and all these practices and leaning on external validation can only get you so far. The biggest shift in wellness, well-being, clarity, even beauty and a beauty routine, if we want to go that far, is really just staying committed to your own personal groundings, the things that aren't necessarily dependent on external things. That was made really loud to me on how much I depend on external validation of products, external like spaces, external people and voices to validate my sense of wellness. And to be completely honest with you, I think true wellness really happens when there's a recognition and acceptance that true well-being starts from within, and no longer is it about external processes, external voices, external products, but it's really about what you can do from the inside out, and that's truly taking care of yourself. Things that ground me rapid fire. One, recently it's been sleep. Grounding starts with sleep and a good night's rest, which means that it starts with boundaries and discipline to be able to end my meals at a certain time. If anyone's following Brian Johnson, he's a bit extreme, but I tried to not eat like at least a couple hours before I go to bed because I've noticed that it definitely interrupts my sleep. I also am working with a nutritionist, so I've been watching like what spikes my glucose and what will give me energy, and just being really disciplined and aware of what foods I put into my body before I go to bed actually helps to give me a good night's rest. So grounding really starts with the discipline of protecting and respecting my rest and my sleep. The second thing, as cheesy as it sounds, but meditation and grounding first thing in the morning is something that is almost a non-negotiable. It's really about this invitation to get quiet, to step into the day with peace and calm. I feel a difference when I don't do it. And there are studies now that have come out that it's like the first 5 minutes upon awakening is when your brain is in the most pliable state. So those first 5 minutes waking up, how am I spending it? That's something that I am always going to be a big advocate for, is meditation, prayer, connection to something bigger than yourself. It's something that is a non-negotiable for me, and I hope that you explore that too. All right, and then 3 things that ground me is getting into my body, movement. And this sounds so cheesy because I know everybody else is talking about this, but truth be told, it's like feeling a little icky, like change your environment. I was, truth be told, feeling a little cranky and wound up this morning. I didn't want to record a podcast. I listened to my other podcast that I recorded yesterday that I was going to post today, and I was doing my final edits. I listened to it and I got the biggest ick, and I was in a mood and I didn't know what to do. And so I did the thing that I knew would kind of get me back into my body, and I moved. I went on a walk. I'm now sitting underneath trees in this like mini forest here in Dallas. I'll take a picture and post it somewhere, maybe in this podcast. But I'm sitting on a log in the middle of greenery after a walk. I got a little sweaty, but we're here. And you know what? It did ground me. It gave me the clarity. I think even if it's gentle movement, something to just like get into your body, doesn't have to be this all or nothing thing. I'm talking way too much again, but yeah, movement is another thing that really gets me grounded and into the day. I think other things that I don't speak much about because they're kind of sacred to me is just, my prayer life, my faith, my recovery. Those all really do help me ground. Releasing control, being in a practice with others in a community who also are in a practice with their higher power. I feel like that is something that is really beautiful, and releasing control and identifying what is in my control, what is in God's control, and how I can be, a co-creator with God, source, however you want to name it. But just being able to work in partnership and not against, not in a tug of war, but together in synchronicity. I think that that's most powerful. I hope that these 3 things helped you in your journey. What has beauty taught me this week? Beauty has taught me that it's not about hiding, masking, pretending like everything is okay. There's only so much concealer that will hide the bags under your eyes because the root problem is that I'm tired, right? And so kind of same thing goes with everything else. There's only so many times that I can keep telling myself that I'm okay when I'm not. Being very honest and truthful to say that I'm not okay or that I'm not happy is the first step. And I think actually obtaining true joy and happiness and also seeing the beauty in the everyday. Because again, if there's veil over our eyes, we can't really fully see the brightness of all the colors that life has to offer us. And with that, I will say, I hope that you continue to find beauty in your everyday, find what works for you. And until the next episode, we'll talk soon.